is Jason, the Hurricane Hoosier, going into work this morning. On Thanksgiving Eve. So it's always an adventure to go into work. I got a little bit of a drive every morning, so it's nice to share that with you from time to time. I'm pretty excited about it. Get a nice long weekend. Thinking about heading down to my hometown area in southern Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky area. Spend a little time with family and friends, perhaps. I'm not for sure. Still debating on that. Might just have to wait till when the spirit hits me, see if I felt up to it or not on that day. But the season really kicks off. The Christmas season really kicks off, starting to really, I guess you could say tomorrow, but really Friday, is the real start. You already hear people talking about Christmas and Christmas shopping and all that jazz, and we'll see how everything shapes up with everybody with that. I don't know how you guys do or think, but if you're a single person, I remember this being kind of like a taboo thing. I don't know how you all feel, but when you're a single person, the only thing you're thinking about is if you have kids, of course, you're taking care of your kids. If you have a couple family members you want to buy stuff for, yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe you have a close friend or something you want to get them for a birthday or Christmas, that kind of thing. But if you're a person who is on the field dating, you're out there in the world dating, you're single and ready to mingle, and you're checking out what's available on the buffet line. These type of holidays start making you a little bit worried that you're like, what, the money I've accumulated, I make for my job and help pay all my adulting bills to adult the right way, so I can keep my house out here. It's always a dead spot right there. But you start realizing when you're dating somebody around the holiday season, you realize, what? I gotta spend money on this person. All right, back live again. There we go. Let's hope it stays there. At least for me. I know this is probably a really cold thing, and I'm aware of it. But do I really want to spend money on somebody who I might not even be talking to the next month, and spend money on them for a Christmas or a Valentine's Day or on a birthday and stuff? It makes me really wonder, do I really want to spend the money on this person to buy them something during Christmas time, where you may not even be seeing each other in a couple weeks or a month or two, and now you're feeling like an obligation to pay for a gift for said girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever the case might be. If you're a young lass and you're dating a young bloke, I have to be honest, it goes through my mind on a regular basis. Like, am I really wanting to spend money on this person during the holidays? And the answer is, to be honest, no, not really, I don't. Oh, SpongeBob. And so, I know that's probably a terrible thing to say, but I'm going to just keep it real. I do have that go across my mind on a regular basis. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Well, that's more reasonable. You know what, SpongeBob? I think if I can read that right. I'm driving, so I'm not trying. I can't really focus too much. So, but at least Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is in the wheelhouse of a doable. it is a possibility. But yeah, I mean, that kind of thing, sure. If you're gonna get somebody, well, I could say, if I'm just gonna get somebody, something small, little gift, like a little, like, like a little gift of saying, like, hey, I remembered you during the holiday season. Sure, that's fine. Some small little gift, like a little gift card, some little, like, little candies, little whatever. But man, do I really want to spend like real money on some possible relationship that's not gonna last but a few weeks, few months? I don't know. And to be honest, it's probably a crappy thing to say, but I'm just being real here. But you're welcome. I'm sorry, cat crash out. I don't want no crash out. I don't want any no crashing. It's a crash-free zone. But yeah, I mean, so anyway, yeah, I mean, that's something I've been thinking about, is that if you have a young lass in your life, do you spend the money on that individual, or if you have more than one? If you're one of those dudes that have multiple ladies in your life, do you spend it on them during the Christmas season? And I would say, for me, because I'm such a miser, I'm like a Grinch, I'm probably like, nah, I'm good. But I don't know, like I said, it's just a thought. Just a thought. But I do think I do struggle with how I should handle those things. But we'll see. I guess I'll have to let you all know in a future video if I decide to bite the bullet and spend some money, or if I just got somebody a Reese's peanut butter cup. Yeah, I don't want to make sure there's no cops. Well, in Indiana, as long as you're hands-free, then they don't pull you over or whatever. So I think I'm okay. A couple months ago, I've been rolling the dice for years. Indiana went to hands-free in the driving in the car. It's mostly for texting, but I guess also if you're on your phone, like talking, then it's the same idea, which I understand, that you can get a ticket or you can get in trouble or whatever, get a fine. And I had done for years, talking on the phone with not even thinking twice about it, even though I knew I knew I had heard the law had changed, but I don't think it ever was like, it wasn't something that was obvious, I guess, but you see people driving around all the time on their phones. And so I was like, well, I guess it's only like, texting, but if you're talking, then it's not a big deal. I don't know. I'm sure I rationalized it in some way. And then about 2 or 3 months ago, after like probably 2 years, that law has been on the books, what I've understood after the fact, I got pulled over in the middle of the night, going through like freaking Mayberry in Indiana. It's like nobody around. It's like legitly not a single car on the road. I'm like driving back home after meeting up with a lady friend, as I was talking about, at like midnight, 1 a.m. or something. And an old city cop that just had nothing else better to do saw me on my phone. Must have saw me on my phone. I'm sure my light on my phone was too bright, that means obviously I wasn't too bright, because I left the light too bright on the phone so they could tell I was on my phone talking or whatever. And he pulled me over, and I have to say the guy was decent, and he just gave me a warning, which I was very grateful for, because I thought, man, he's gonna hit me with a fine and just be a real cowboy. But he was really fair, which I much appreciated, because he could have been way worse. I've been in way worse situations. And after that, he was like, you just need to get something that you can put your phone up, or go through your speaker or whatever. And I was like, okay, I got it. So I ran out the next day, and what I'm on right now, right there on this little thing, I went to the Dollar Tree, or everything's $1. Well, actually everything's $1.25 now. It's a lie. And got myself a little air conditioner stand or whatever you put it in, and voila, here we are. So no, exciting stuff here. But yeah, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I'm pretty thankful. This year, things went really well for me and my family this year, which I'm grateful for. We still have a little bit ways to go before the end of the year, but I'm thinking good things are coming this way. I'm pretty optimistic. So I'm hoping for the best here, closing out 2024. My ex is preparing a Thanksgiving meal for the ages, if I've understood, based on what my kids told me. He was like, Dad, Mom's bought so much food. Thanksgiving's gonna be epic. I'm like, that's what I like to hear. And I had asked her, like, hey, well, what can I do to help out? I'm more than happy to come over early and help get everything set up, you know, be your little sous chef. I'll wear like nothing but an apron if you would like. I just wear just my apron and just let my backside hang out, and that would be a gift for everybody. She turned down that offer, which I don't understand why. I thought that'd be very generous of me to offer up my services and do it in such a sexy way. But she wasn't really having it, which is unfortunate. I thought it was like a winning opportunity for everybody. She was like, just come, just show up to eat. And I'm like, what? You don't want me to come up for anything? You don't need me to help you do anything? Do the dishes, set the table, get all the stuff ready to go, like get all the ingredients out and everything opened up, and help out move things around while you're moving things off the conveyor belt, off the line. She's like, nope, just show up to eat. And I was like, all right, well, don't threaten me with a good time. I can show up just to eat. That's the easy part. So I was like, all right. So I was on dessert duty, which again, when I say I was on dessert duty, actually it was Kroger that was on dessert duty, and I just showed up and got everybody's favorite picks for dessert. So I'll bring that tomorrow. That'll be my job to do. That's about it. I was shocked. So I'm like, for this Thanksgiving, I'm like about $20 in the hole. I feel like I felt like I'm winning. Just like America, I'm winning right now. Just winning across the board. So I will be there tomorrow with my 2 pies and a quart of ice cream, ready to rock and roll. But yeah, I told her I'm gonna take it easy today. I don't eat like a lot anymore anyways. I don't eat like a lot of super heavy and a lot of food anymore. But I'm definitely gonna take it easy. I'll probably eat lunch, obviously. And then I probably won't even eat rest of the day and rest until tomorrow, so I can really smash it on tomorrow afternoon when we're doing our Thanksgiving soiree. Can I go? Okay. Whenever you're in front of a semi, sometimes you can't see the frickin' lights. You can't tell if it's still green or if it turned red. I don't want any accidents. So. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, kind of switching gears a bit. If you're paying attention, if you're a political junkie like myself, that old Trumpy, not even in office yet, he's already able to convince Canada and Mexico and China to get on board with illegal drug running and illegal immigration and all that, just by a couple phone calls and a post on social media. Things are already turning around. This makes you wonder, when somebody who's not even the president tells you this is what's going to happen once I become president, unless you fix your problems, how shockingly simple that is. And the problems start kind of resolving themselves all of a sudden. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, and nothing ever is, but this current administration, they just was like, hey, we're open for business. Just stream as much illegal drugs and deadly drugs into our country, and we can kill as many people as you can. I think they said something like 300,000 people a year from 18 to 45. It's like unbelievable, dying of fentanyl. And then not including all the murderers and rapists and sexual abusers and all kinds of criminals of all kinds. And just go across the board, not including people on the terrorist watch list. And I'm like, you know, it's unbelievable. Like how you, as an administration for the last 4 years, have brought that much danger to your own people. It's just really, really just shocking and frustrating and maddening. It just really infuriates me, and it should everybody else. It pisses you off. It's just unbelievable how it could be that this current administration actively took away barriers to keep people at bay, keep drugs at bay, keep terrorists at bay, made it more difficult, make it impossible in some scenarios. Because there's a will, there's a way. I mean, for sure, there's always going to be people who are making the attempt. So I'm not making it sound like it's going to just completely stop. But to welcome it is just absolutely asinine. And just to think that this current president, his day one thing was to roll back all those protections that Trump put in place to protect American people from all this stuff that he actually undid it all. And then has left it that way for the last 4 years and hasn't done anything about it and actually continues to encourage it. And then you have somebody who's coming back to, you know, he's getting ready to go back to the big boys table and tell everybody, all the kids, it's time to stop playing with your toys and go to your room. And then the adults, it's mind-boggling. Regardless of you like the guy or not, I just don't understand the mindset that you must have to say, this is a good idea, just to leave your borders open and down, just to let anyone come over. Because quite frankly, the same people who say that don't have to worry about the outcome. Rarely they have to worry about how it's going to affect them because they have protection. They live in the most affluent, richest areas of the country. They have security details. They have protection there. They have money. They have power. They don't have to worry about stuff like that. They don't care. It doesn't affect them at all. And so they don't care. And I always think for the people who think that somehow somehow having a border, having a wall, having rules and laws, and knowing who people are when they come here, and making sure those people are properly vetted, to make sure we know who is in this country. If you feel that strongly that should not be the case, then why don't you let them come to your house? And you leave your doors open, and you let these people come live with you and your family. And you let me know how that works out for you. You know who this person is from Adam or from Eve. And you just let them come and take up residence in your home, and then you tell me how that works out for you. I really would like to know how that works out, because that is exactly what's happening now. It is really shocking how people who say those things honestly do not even consider how it comes across and how it affects them directly if you do those things. And if you feel that strongly about it, then you just leave your doors unlocked and then let anybody who wants to come into your home. And then they can just do whatever they want in your home, because that's exactly what's going on right now. And it really is mind-boggling. And we have actually many a Democrat mayor and governor and city officials and city council members who are actively trying to work against protecting their own people. And you can say, oh, that's not true. I'm watching the videos. I'm watching it on all kinds of social media. They're proudly getting on, you know, all the legacy media and, like, you know, the local media, saying exactly that they're going to stand in the gap against protecting their people. It's so shocking. I never thought I would live in such a clown world, but here we are currently living in a clown world where people feel emboldened to say, I'm putting the rights illegal immigrants have no rights, over the rights of American citizens. And not just that, but also their protections, keeping them safe, which is every government official's core duty, is keeping the citizens safe. mean, that is like 101 as a public official. And that you actively work against your own people is it's a clown show. It's a complete clown show. It's just unbelievable. I'm so grateful that, again, nothing's perfect, but Indiana does not play these games, thank God. And for the most part, people are not playing these type of like Russian roulette with illegal immigrants, with drugs and stuff like that. Like, there's actually still some sort of semblance of law and order in the state of Indiana, thank God. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Nothing's perfect. We all know this. Nothing is perfect. If you're looking for perfection, well, you're never going to find it no matter where you go. So there's that. You're never going to be able to do that. You're not perfect. Your mama's not perfect. Your daddy ain't perfect. The state you live in is not perfect. America's not perfect, obviously. I lived all around the world. There's things that are pros and cons of everywhere I've ever lived, including my own state, my own country. Pros and cons of this reality of it. There's never been a utopia. There never will be a utopia because humans mess it up. Humans are their worst enemy. It's never going to happen. But I'm grateful for the Trump's administration heading into next year, that they're trying to show that the adults are back. We're gonna start getting back down to business. We're done playing games. So we'll see. Time will tell. Like I've shared before, my aunt, who I love dearly, she's a left winger. She's been force fed and she loves it. The media that's just been like anti-Republican, mostly anti-Trump for the better part of a decade now, and she drinks that deeply every day. And she was actually shocked because it just shows you she's like the perfect example. And like I said, I love her so much. But she is the perfect example of the American citizenry, I guess, or whatnot here, American citizen, that watches only one type of media, which is the same MSNBC, CNN, NBC, ABC type stuff, same single narrative. It's the Operation Mockingbird. I mentioned it before. And she says all the same talking points. She doesn't actually know anything. She thinks she does because she was told by Joe and Mika and Don Lemon and Rachel Maddow and all this other nonsense, what to believe and how to believe, and they of course tilt it only to a made up lies, and it's like been proven multiple times and again and again and again that they're lying. And if you don't believe that, well, they were calling Trump, the leader of the WW2 bad guys, and a fascist, and this, that, and the other, and a racist, and this, and that, and the other. And then they're all like, well, I'm gonna go hang out in Mar-a-Lago. You're my friend now, you're my pal. And now they're all like playing, like nice in the nice little sandbox. So it's like, didn't you just say 3 weeks ago he's a threat to our democracy? Did you just say 3 weeks ago that if he wins, that the world as we know is going to come to an end, like the earth will come off its axis and the sun won't come out, and we're all going to be walking around in like, some kind of gulags and stuff. We're going to be stuck in it. It's nonsense. People get rounded up. And now they're like, well, let's be friends. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. But I'm, talking to her, and so she didn't know, because she was talking about, because that's the new narrative now, is all the picks that Trump has picked, that, it's like he's like picking all these like quote unquote crazy people, unqualified people. And I was like, well, you do know, just pick just a couple. We can go all the way down the list of the incompetent people, starting with Joe Biden himself as incompetent as the president of the United States, and then Kamala Harris as equally as incompetent, even if not more so, unbelievably, if you can believe it. But I'm like, you have the undersecretary or assistant secretary of health as a transgender woman that is morbidly obese and is the one who's in charge of health. And this guy is parading around in women's clothing. And that's the guy that you have in a position of power for health. And so there's that. So already out the gate, you have a problem when you're talking about, Biden or Trump's pick versus Biden's pick, because currently Trump is not picking people who have gender dysphoria and prancing around in women's clothing and pretending to be a woman when they're really a man. So there's that. So that right there helps, I think, put things in perspective. My aunt did not even know that, because they don't want to know. They don't want their followers, because that's what Democrats are at this point. They're in a cult. Followers to believe and to see that, because they're like, hold on, wait, what? And then you have Sam Britton, who is he is a man, but he went by a non-binary status and was a man with a full-on beard, but would wear dresses and high heels and makeup, and he was like some kind of upper echelon nuclear waste representative, not representative, but administrative person. So she had no idea that Biden picked this man who is, like I said, prancing around as a LARPer, as a woman LARPer. And then she goes, oh, I didn't know. I guess I have some reading to do. And of course, guess what? After I sent her those articles from her precious sources, because if I would have sent those articles to her from, I don't even know, Newsmax or OAN or even Fox News or anything, she was like, that's not real. That's from such and such place. Because they have been brainwashed that if it comes from anything other than CNN or NBC or anything, it's all fake or it's all made up. And I'm like, okay. So I found like a USA Today article, and I found a New York Times article and all this stuff, and I sent it to her so she couldn't use that as an excuse not to dismiss it, because that's how the people are. They just automatically dismiss it because, oh, look at the source. It's not real. And I'm like, okay. So I found articles, I sent it to her, and then she goes, oh, I guess I have some reading to do. And guess what, guys? I haven't heard her mention one time about his pick since then. That's interesting. You're not talking about that anymore? Well, just a few days ago, you're talking about how all these people were just completely incompetent picks and they're terrible and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. It really is mind-boggling. You should, Steve. You should wear that. I would wear mine, but my family, though it's very small, I wouldn't be really making a big statement because we all feel the same. So no one would care. But I should wear it just because you say that. I find it, yo and hello. Yes. Hey, what up, Steve? I'm sorry. I saw the message before. But yesterday I went to a high school basketball game in the town I live in. And one of my buddies, his son, who's now in college, he came to the game and he had a Make America Great hat on. I'm like, wow. This kid has some balls. I mean, he's a young kid. He's a college age kid. 19, 20-year-old kid, I would assume. And he had a Make America Great hat on again. And I don't live in the most diverse area, but there's the diversity. We play at a school that is much more diverse than the school that I currently live in, the school district I live in. And he's rocking that hat, and I was like, look at this kid. And I was like, I was really proud of that guy, because I was like, you shouldn't be ashamed of wearing clothes or whatever of the political affiliation if you want. I mean, if you want to wear Obama stuff, wear Obama stuff. If you want to wear Biden stuff, wear Biden stuff. If you want to wear Kamala stuff, wear Kamala stuff. Like, wear whatever you want to wear. Like, but I mean, I'm also a Gen Xer, and we don't get offended. It takes a lot for me to get offended. And I definitely don't care if you're wearing some freaking t-shirt or a hat. But, people get all worked up about it. We know a couple years ago, it was like a legit thing that people had to worry about their physical lives, because so many people have TDS and are so unhinged, they'd be attacked in public. I think probably most of that has subsided quite a bit, thank God. But who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, nothing really surprises me. You think you're in a somewhat safe-ish environment, or people just kind of moved on, or they don't think everything is like something that just because you wear a hat or a shirt, you're from WW2, like they're trying to make it out to be. But there's still those unhinged people. You see them on the old TikToks and the old interwebs, shaving their heads and only doing blue hearts now and blue little bracelets and screaming into their phones and doing a no sex for the next 4 years and talking about divorcing their husbands or not sleeping with their boyfriends and breaking up with their men in their lives. And I even heard, and this is a fact, this is not funny whatsoever. All that was hilarious. And the people who say that are like, look like Jabba the Hutt anyway. So it's like you're doing everybody a favor by not procreating. But then the one thing that was super sad and it's not funny at all was, I think it was in Oregon, I want to say, or Washington State, was a young lady who her and her dad disagreed politically, and her dad was a Trump supporter, and when he won, she couldn't handle it, and so they got into a disagreement. I don't even know what it was all about, but one of the reasons why she did what she did was because he was a Trump supporter. She said it, and she killed her dad. And she said that when they found her, she was laughing and smiling about it, and that one of the reasons she murdered him was because he voted for Trump. I mean, that is the craziness that we find ourselves living in nowadays. It's really, really wild. I really just can't even believe it. That that's the world we live in. So let's hope that people, for the most part, they get it out of their system the next couple of weeks, and we can we all be safe and sound and not have to worry about our family members trying to take us out just because of who we voted for. But I wouldn't fully put it past some of these people that they would not act out in a way like that. We have to worry about those kind of things happening. Like who knows? So just never know. But guys, I will go ahead and let you go. I'm getting closer to work. I had to pull off and stop for a second. I'm gonna run in and grab something, a coffee. Hope you all doing well. Yeah, over politics, Steve. Yeah, I mean, look it up. Like I said, it's not. I'm not making it up. It's a thing. If you look at, like I said, you can just say, I think it's Washington State or Oregon, but a young lady was having a bad day, and she killed her dad over voting for Trump. Now, obviously, I know that's an extreme situation, but it happened. I've never heard of any Trump supporters going around killing anybody who didn't vote for Trump or whatever. I've never heard that. Could it happen? Absolutely. People are crazy. That's mentally ill people everywhere. But this is not a phenomenon that you hear about when it's the other side. You don't hear Republicans when they don't get their way, or conservatives, they don't get their way. They go around like taking people out and like attacking people in the streets for wearing a hat or a shirt or having a bumper sticker on their car. But when it's the other way around, you see that on a regular basis. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So you all take care. We'll see each other soon. Peace.